In this space, it feels surreal, but I also know how real it is because I worked to get here. I cried to get here. I lost sleep to be here, but I have gained so much knowledge, and without me taking these risks, I wouldn't even be here to talk to you today. My name is Malita Rice, also known as Malita the Mogul. I am CEO and founder of Mogul Mentality, and I'm also Vice President of A&R at Warner Records. And this is how I got my start. I was born in Syracuse, New York, but I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I had a very assertive, aggressive upbringing, but now I kind of put that into my business. It was just different, and even with that, I wanted to be in the FBI. I never wanted to be in music. So I came here, I went to Clark Atlanta, and I stayed for a year and a half, and I dropped out. My mother said, pick the furthest school away from here. And that was the second furthest school, and that's where I landed. So I came to Atlanta with no family here at first, I was here by myself. The first 6 months was a culture shock. And it's gonna sound funny when I say culture because it was nothing but Black people I was around in Clark Atlanta, but it was a diverse group of Black people. Y'all are so smart. Y'all are in frets and sororities and, really eager to win. And it just made me rethink, reprogram my thinking. It started to click that school wasn't for me when I used to make excuses not to go to class. If it rained, I wasn't walking to class. Mind you, I'm right on campus and it's a couple footsteps to the class and I'm yeah, it's raining today. And then I met Sonny Digital. He used to have a group called Forbes Atlanta. And I met him, I met Q, and then Metro was coming around at the time too when he first moved here. And we were busy, we were working and I was I can't go to school. I was so tired and I was I'm done. And I was afraid to tell my family, but I did it and it's working out. So I was definitely the jack of all trades and the master of none. Whatever it was at the time, that's what I was doing. I was moving Metro around. I was moving Sonny around. I was just telling everybody what to do, kinda. So no one blew up yet. This is fairly new. I used to just email people and text people and DM people. And I'm oh, can we come to your club? Can we come here? Can we come here? Let's do this interview. Let's do this. So I got my start from a childhood friend. Her name is Aisha Adore. She was a dope DJ back in Baltimore, Maryland. And then she moved to Atlanta after me. And she was you should be a manager. And I'm I don't know how to be a manager. She was you're being a manager. So she actually motivated me to really lock in on this. And at the time I was working at a call agency or something for Apple. And she was yeah. So I was I'm done. And I just put my all into it, never looked back. Every time I felt stuck, somebody would be oh, come here, this person wants to meet you. And then a whole new opportunity presented itself. So I was never stagnant. I was always okay, well, I'm over here now. Now I'm over here, now I'm over here. So I started to master things and actually learn and ask the right questions instead of just running crazy. So Joey IE gave me my first consulting gig at a major label. And Nicole actually said, oh, we should book Triangle. And I'm okay. And I go into Triangle, I'm plaques everywhere. It's Grammy winning, everything, everywhere. The studio's nice. It's just who is this guy? So I'm oh, this is Tricky Stewart.
My name is Tricky Stewart. I'm a super producer. I produce some of the biggest artists in the world: Beyonce, Rihanna, Justin Bieber, Frank Ocean, just to name a few. Been blessed with an amazing career spanning over 30 years. Some of my biggest songs include Single Ladies, Umbrella, Baby, Novocaine, All the Dreams' first two albums, Love, Hate, Love versus Money. So, that's my bag, that's my vibes.
When I meet Tricky, Tricky is this down-to-earth guy. He gonna just be cool, and he just has this vibrant energy that is unmatched. And he understands music. It's just somebody who really studies this. This is their livelihood. This is his last breath. And to be able to even be a phone call away from this person is amazing. To be able to be in his presence is amazing.
Well, Malita is different because Malita is something that I hadn't seen in a very long time, which is someone who didn't want to be in music because of the shine. She wanted to be in the music because of the thing. And so that's a very rare thing. And Malita's drive, and particularly her knowledge, her follow through, her attention to detail is in an elite class. And there's just not a lot of people who dedicate themselves to the craft of saying they want to be a manager, they want to be a visionary, they want to be a publisher that actually knows the nuances of what that job actually entails.
I think that, of course, in the beginning, I was focused on artist management, but I was also around a lot of producers, but I didn't understand it at the time until OG Parker asked me to manage him. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
What's going on? My name is OG Parker, and I'm a producer from Atlanta, Georgia. My earliest memory was she was managing my boy Skipping the Flip at the time, just talking about music and stuff. And then she kept coming to QC with him, and then she was providing me opportunities. She was like, yo, would you want to be in this magazine? Would you want to do this and that? And then I just called Steve. I was like, oh yeah, we're bringing in Malita on the team.
Okay, so when he asked me to manage him at the time, he already had management, which was Steve-O. But I met Steve-O because Steve-O was managing OG Mako, who I got signed to QC. So I asked him, was it okay? And he said, okay. So then we became partners, and we're still partners to this very day.
I'm Steve-O Dingle, music manager, A&R, based out of Atlanta. Parker was the first producer I ever worked with. So when, he was like, yo, Malita's around, I think we would be a great team. To me, it wasn't even second guessing, because like I said, my introduction to her was dope, and then following her through her career, it wasn't even a question for me. I was like, let's get it. I have no issues at all. I trust her. I know her. It was like, let's get it feeling. So I was rocking with it, and I think we made the right decision. Malita's one of one. I don't take for granted how difficult I think it is to be Malita. Like the way she shows up for people, the way she does what she needs to do, whether it be career, family, friends, etc. All the facets that we've seen of Malita, I don't take for granted how hard that is. So I think when I say she's one of one, even if people have in their heart to try to be like Malita, I don't think they have the wherewithal to do it. And that's no shade to anyone else. It's just saying that I don't underestimate how hard it is to be just as great as she is in all facets of life.
I mastered producer management first. I definitely mastered producer management first. A lot of us, we get into the business, but we don't know the business. And I feel like we need to start understanding the business. It's not just Instagram, it's not just Snapchat or Twitter or, I'm A&R this, I'm A&R that. It's really understanding the actual business.
It's so many people that I hear that say they want to be in music that don't know anything about it. How do you say you want to be in music, but you don't want to study? You don't want to understand what has happened before you. It doesn't start, these things don't start when you get to Earth. There's a pattern of behavior and history that you have to study. I think it's important that if you don't know exactly what to do, you at least pick someone to pattern yourself after, so that whatever information you can get from that person, you're striving towards a goal. Hey, listen, I know where Malita started. If I was a young woman and I'm like, okay, she's come from the bottom. And most of the people that are in this industry, that is our story.
Being a woman in the industry with artists, creatives, period, executives, I have a level of assertiveness that some people, don't understand. But I'm gonna stick to what I believe in. I'm gonna say what I have to say, and either you're gonna like it or not. But it is what it is. I feel like certain people don't take to that very well. But then after a while, people start to respect it. I feel like now we're in a great place for women in the music business. I feel like if you're a woman, people would love to have you in these spaces, especially in corporate settings. This is the place for you. I feel like there was always one woman in each crew back in the day. And now we're able to work cohesively, which is very, very, very important. One person that speaks on networking across is Issa Rae. She always preaches that, and I take that into consideration with everything I do, because everybody who I came up with when I first moved to Atlanta is actually very successful now in the music business. The pros of coming up back then are you really knew who was who. You were outside, okay? People always wonder who is that? I see her everywhere. How did she get in here? Or whatever the case may be.
I think there's people who started when you started, and it becomes your job to understand who those people are, of who you see in a comparable space of people that are willing to put in what you're willing to put in. So we keep a relationship that's based upon how are we all surviving this thing. There's just an element of checking into the people that are your like-minded individuals. That community of people has to be who wants what you want, how you want it.
I can say honestly, Malita's been the same person the whole time. Yeah, well, I feel like we were like best friends. Like that's my sister. Like pretty much as soon as we started like being around each other. But she kind of was just allowed me opportunities like without getting anything in return. She didn't even necessarily manage me at like the earlier form. You know, but I was kind of like just managed by Steve-O. So she was kind of just doing it just to help me.
With us, we're a family. We've been working together for so long. I love them, okay? Like, I really, really, really love them. I adore them. I appreciate them. We've helped change each other's lives. Like, me and Parker both had Impalas at the same time. Then I got a Mercedes, then a Range Rover, then all the cars I have now. Like, you know, so it's amazing, like, to watch this flourish because we really started from ground zero with each other. It's important to take the risk because you never know what's on the other side. Like, we know where we're at now, right? You know what space you're in, you know what's going on, you know what's gonna happen tomorrow for the most part. You know what happened yesterday. However, you don't know what's on the other side. Like, if you just jump out there with taking all these different risks and wearing so many hats, I was able to meet so many different people. So that way people can say, oh, do you know Malita? Or do you know Malita? Or is Malita good at this and Malita good at that? They can say, yeah, she did this, she did that, she did these things. And now, like I said, I feel like there's a sense of entitlement, but we didn't have that. We really didn't even know what to look up to at the time. Because now there's so much information out there that these kids can look at, these documentaries, these podcasts. We didn't have a podcast to listen to get information. So now it's just like, okay, jump out there, you never know what may happen. So to the younger girl who wants to be in music business, I would say, be brave. Like, just do it. Like, don't overthink it. I think we all tend to overthink things and we talk ourselves out of things and, you know, really challenge yourself and really actually learn the business aspect of it and continue to network because you never know who's gonna be the next chairman. Like I said, I met Tunji in 2012 and now he's a chairman of Def Jam. Like, you just never know what spaces you're gonna be in and who's gonna be in those spaces. So always be prepared and always be ready for the next opportunity, especially if that's what you're working towards. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? I want to build a conglomerate. Like, I want Mogul Mentality to help build independent labels, help build creatives. I don't want it just to be like my thing, like these people are signed to me. Like, no, I want to help build these new indie companies that are coming up and these new publishers that are coming up that need help. I don't want it to be just a hone in on just me. I like to see everybody win. I like to see everybody flourish. And I have so many ideas for people that I feel like, I think that's my new path.
But what I expect from her in the future, it's no limit with her. It's no limit. There's no expectations because she's gonna do something next week that I'm like, what? How? So I just expect her to keep going. And when I say keep going, I'm giving all this up and I just wanna be a mother, future wife, whatever. She's gonna be amazing at that or is amazing at, amazing mother, etc. So whatever she decides to do, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be something we've never seen before. And that's what I expect of Malita.
I think the things that I anticipate for Malita are always what's next. And now that she's a mom, that evolution has added a whole new dimension so that now she's putting it together. And when you have a sense of balance between what's important at home, your drive gets more focused. Malita would handle everybody that wanted Malita early on. And now it's a privilege to get Malita to handle you with that special gift that she has. So from that standpoint, I just see ascension in anything that she really wants to do.
In this space, it feels surreal, but I also know how real it is because I worked to get here. I cried to get here. I lost sleep to be here. I went broke to be here. Like, I left my family to be here, so I deserve to be here and I will stay here. But most importantly, I just feel like it's important that people continue to pour into me. Like, I have so many people pouring into me that keep me in this healthy space, like mentally, because this can be very draining. and very challenging, especially being a mom, especially being a friend, being an executive, being a manager, being all these different things and wearing all these different hats. It's important that I really live in this space, but I also know that this is not the end.